So I got a comment on either my last video or the video before saying, I hope you're well, you look quite tired. Thanks, first of all. So it's not the nicest message to get, but they have actually got a point. Over the past 3 to 6 months, I have not been super well, and it's nothing to worry about, but it does happen if you have a stoma, an ileostomy like me. And what I think is happening, I don't know at the moment, I'll talk you through what's happening. What I actually think is happening is I'm either deficient in something or I might even be flaring up. And you might be thinking, I didn't know you could still flare up if you've got a stoma, but I think you can. So around 3 to 6 months ago, I know it's quite vague, but it kind of gradually gets worse. I've been feeling really fatigued, which is not nice. Feeling super hungover in the morning, even though I don't drink. And it was coming up to winter, so I thought maybe it's just because it's getting to winter, maybe I need to adjust a bit. But I have been super low energy, and my normal lifestyle is quite, I like hiking, I like building stuff, I like being outdoors a lot, and it's been difficult because if I go out in the morning, I'm normally half asleep by lunchtime. So just to give you a bit of context, if you've got an ileostomy, a number of things can happen. You can get dehydrated because your output is quite watery and it's frequent, so you end up losing more water than you usually would if you didn't have an ileostomy. As well as that, you don't absorb as much nutrition, so you can be deficient in a number of things, which is quite actually normal. So that's what I think is happening. So I put it off for quite a while because I've been enjoying my life without any medication after ulcerative colitis, but I finally made an appointment to go to the doctor. Another weird symptom I was having is I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd be super breathless. It's not a nice thing to happen. I had no idea what that is. So I went to the doctors. They didn't actually know I had an ileostomy, so that complicated things a little bit. But rightfully, they've put me in for a blood test to check my levels of seeing whether I'm anemic, which is something that can happen for people with ulcerative colitis. You might not know, but I've got 2 stomas and one is a mucus fistula. And what that means is I still have part of my old colon, which is still inflamed with ulcerative colitis. So I need to have a second surgery to get the rest of that removed and get that second stoma closed up. So I can still have symptoms of ulcerative colitis, which I'm guessing this is what it is, but the breathlessness is a new one for me. No idea what that is. So when I went to the doctor, they put me in for a blood test, which I've not had yet, and they put me in for a chest x-ray to see what's going on with the breathlessness. So I've done the chest x-ray, I'm due to have my blood test, and I will update you what has actually happened and what's causing this fatigue. But fatigue is quite a normal thing when it comes to ileostomies or IBDs, which is a few people have asked, means it's an irritable bowel disease. Like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis or colitis, it's a disease in your bowel, which means inflammation, ulcers, all sorts of things. It's not nice. So fingers crossed that's actually what the issue is. It might just be a case of I'm a little bit anemic, I might be deficient on vitamin D. There's a number of things that you're more likely to be deficient in if you have an ileostomy. However, it's not a nice feeling to have, and you might be having the same feeling as well. One thing that I've tried to be conscious of is hydration, because I do go on about hydration a lot, and it's probably boring everyone that hears it, but it is important for people with ileostomies to stay hydrated. A few people have said just drink when you're thirsty, other things, and that's not actually always the case. You do need to make sure you're drinking enough water regardless of whether you feel thirsty or not. Anyway, I'll stop moaning about symptoms, and another good thing that's happening in my life is I'm getting a puppy tomorrow. So that'll be interesting to deal with that when I'm feeling quite fatigued, but I am ready and I can't wait. So one thing that I am actually worried about, which could be causing the issue, is the fact that I was on prednisolone for quite a few years, many years actually, and with not many breaks in it. And what can happen is you can become dependent on prednisolone and it can affect your kidneys. So they want to check my kidney function with this blood test as well to see whether that's got anything to do with it. I was supposed to have a test done when I came off the prednisolone after I had my stoma to make sure I wasn't dependent on prednisolone, but I was feeling fine and I cancelled the appointment, which is not good advice. The reason I did it is because I'm scared of needles, and subconsciously I thought, I'm feeling fine, I don't need it. That's bad advice, and don't do that. You want to get yourself checked out and make sure that's not actually the case. However, I'm not saying it is that. It's likely that I'm going to be deficient in something, but it's something that is worrying me, because that means that you might need to indefinitely stay on prednisolone, like a low dose of it, which I don't want to do again because there are a million side effects which are not nice. But the reason I'm making this video is because it's something that you might come across if you've had ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, and if you've got a stoma now. There are quite a few reasons why you would be feeling fatigued. So don't do what I do. Don't cancel the prednisolone test, and get yourself seen by a doctor sooner rather than later. It's not my proudest moment, but I'm sorting it now. So what I'll do is I will update you with the cause of this fatigue and hopefully the breathlessness, God knows what that is. And hopefully we can all learn something from my mistakes, and hopefully I'll be able to give some advice on how to not end up like I am now. So don't forget to follow along to see what happens, and comment down below if you've had the same symptoms and if you've had any good tips to avoid feeling like this. Again, I already know about hydration, I already know about supplements, but there's only so far they can get you. Hope this video wasn't too depressing, and I'll see you in the next one.